Yo, what up, y'all? This is the Grind2Hard podcast. I appreciate y'all tuning in. This is the podcast that talks about entrepreneurship and motivation. We talk to entrepreneurs in the trenches so that you can see what it is, their story, and what it is, the trials and tribulations. Maybe you get a little spark of passion. That's what I'm trying to do here in the Grind2Hard podcast. So here at Nevermore Records, we want to say please and thank you for tuning in, but also if you could like and share and then subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're getting a lot of followers and listeners, so I really appreciate that. Today on the Grind2Hard podcast, we have a special guest. His name is Chef Enrique Lozano. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you coming on the podcast, brother. It's a pleasure him being here, but also it's a pleasure knowing him. Here in El Paso, we have a great culinary kind of circle. There's a lot of chefs doing big things. I mean, from Lola Rose, like we talked about a lot, but also like from back in the day, last season, we were talking about Charlatan. This is Chef Enrique Lozano, who actually made that restaurant. So we have a lot of questions for him, and just to give you a little brief background for the audience, me personally, as a personal chef in 2020, when I was building my personal chef business, I was like writing everything out, writing my menus, and having this vision of what I wanted. And as I looked into the IG pictures, I saw Chef Enrique Lozano. He was actually a personal chef. Matt, you were a personal chef for Aaron Jones at the time. So just you being in his kitchen, did you know that sparked me like no one's business? Like at that moment, like did you know you were actually sparking other people's passions?
Nah, not really. I was just
want to give you those kudos, man, because like in me, I was in kind of a dark space, and when I saw the IG, I saw the possibilities. You know what I mean? Here in El Paso, it was like there's endless possibilities. There's a guy named Aaron Jones who actually plays for the NFL, and he probably makes a great salary, but it's not about money. But there's a person that had opportunity and gave opportunity to somebody else, and I saw that in vision. So I just kept going, and I was like, you know what, it's bound to happen. And I kind of at that point, not put you on a pedestal, but just looked up to you, man. I saw your vision, and I saw your how much you put love into the food. Even in that kitchen, I saw you like making ramen in that kitchen, and I was like, all right, bet this is gonna be the track for me. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to say thank you, man. I appreciate that. And to introduce you to my audience, you are Chef Enrique Lozano. You have about a couple restaurants under your belt. Charlatan is where I did see you. Did you have any previous experience as far as running a restaurant, being top chef?
Yeah, so Nishi Ramen was my first restaurant. Okay. You could say it was the first like ramen restaurant like in El Paso. Like there's also Matsuharu, which is in the Northeast, and it's like a super classic ramen restaurant. Right.
These are and then as I talked about like Charlatan, these are places that people would talk about like, oh, he had this and he had that. So I'm just as far as me personally, that's what I knew about it is Charlatan. Yeah. That's cool, man. So your experience in the culinary world, how long is your experience?
I've been cooking since I was 19. I'm 32 now, so
19.
Yeah.
And if I just let everybody know in this episode of Grind2Hard, we're gonna try to go bilingual. Chef Lozano is not only you're from El Paso. Eres de El Paso. ¿A qué escuela fuiste?
Socorro High School. Graduated graduated in 2010.
2010?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So Socorro, that's the first one I think we had from Socorro. I'm from Mount Wood. We had a lot of Del Valle and stuff like that. So represent right here. And then in El Paso, you grew up in El Paso?
Nos venimos de Juárez cuando tenía 11 años.
11 years?
Yeah.
Okay. So would you say that you're an El Pasoan, or you have like this kind of like heart half and half, huh?
I think it's a half and half that didn't really fully come full circle until like I was about I don't know 27, 28. When I started working at Taft Diaz, that's when I kind of realized.
Taft Diaz?
Yeah.
Oh, that's dope, man.
So it's like you're both, stop trying to like, like.
What was your direction before that time?
I was just trying to cook ramen.
Yeah, you love ramen, man. Yeah. And what about ramen? Is it the culture, or is it the flavor?
It's everything. Everything that's Japanese is Asian. It's like specifically Japanese, but like anything Asian is just. I have such admiration for like they're not afraid of flavor, like it's flavor forward all the time, and that's kind of how I like to cook, and that's how I describe my cooking. Like you're not gonna lack seasoning on any bite, So
much respect, yeah. Because as a personal chef, I like to say that I have an array. I could do any cuisine. When I first started, there was one specific thing that I said I didn't do was Japanese sushi. Japanese cuisine plus the sushi. But as I move along, like it was like a challenge. It was always there. So like. man, it's diverse in flavor, like using substitutes for salt like soy and I can't even think about the paste and stuff like that, but miso, exactly, yeah. So I'm saying like using substitutes for salt and stuff like that, and then taking the time to make the ponzu like and stuff like that. There's a lot of deep layers to Japanese culture. That's why I stayed away from it, but now I read up on it. I try to research and really get those flavors. I like the way you present your dishes too, your main dish. ¿Por qué nombraste a tu mejor plato de ramen Anthony Bourdain?
He's OG.
He's OG.
Yeah, man, like he's coming up in this industry. Like, there's a lot of trials and tribulations. I'm sure you could tell, and you mentioned being in a dark spot. Well, I think we all go through that as persons, but more importantly, like in this industry, like it's like tested times 100.
Sure.
So like tuning into like watching any of his shows, it's like everything's gonna be okay, man. like everything's gonna be good. Like it's like your uncle, like, you know, hey man, here's $20, you know, like hey, you'll be alright, man. You know? So just having a huge admiration for him.
Absolutely.
And I had that recipe for that ramen. It's basically like the pork tonkatsu, and it's a recipe that I started. Now it's been like, I want to say we're going like probably like on eight years of like building that recipe. Started off pretty bad. Like, you know, like it's just like whatever, because I never worked in a Japanese restaurant, you know, before or anything like that. So it was just like whatever I thought, you know, that needed to be done to make that ramen.
What was your history with using the flavors? Like you just from like
just
seeing
tasting,
it, just tasting it, and seeing it. Wow.
So it was like, you know, like once I decided, okay, well, I'm gonna do ramen. I started like testing recipes with friends and stuff. One particular friend, his name's Santiago. He's out of town now. He started off as a chef as well, but then he does graphic design. But anyway, we did this recipe, and then like we started working on it.
It's an 8 year in the works 8 year recipe that you've been
and then
perfecting.
until like I was content with like a iteration of it,
right?
And then I started selling that like just on Instagram, house to house. I would go to people's homes and like cook it, cook the ramen, make it, serve it, clean the plates, and take off.
How did you advertise for that?
Just on Instagram.
You just said, "Let me cook ramen for you."
Yeah,
man, much respect, dude. Yeah. Because I was painting a big picture. I was like, "Yo, let me cook a 5-star meal. I'll come and do 4 courses. Let me do wine." You're over there like, "Let me just cook ramen for you." Was it a good reception? How did that work out for you?
Yeah, it was great. Yeah, like people fucking
friends,
called me,
family, people that you didn't know.
Mostly friends. And people that I didn't know. And that helped me kind of like that was the building steps, you know. So then when I fast forward, when I opened the restaurant, I was like, okay, well, we're gonna do the pork ramen. I was like, what should I call it? And I was trying to have fun with the names and stuff. And I was like, okay, what about like Anthony or the Bourdain? And I was like, oh, the Bourdain maybe. I just want to have a plate that like, because he was still around at the time. When I opened Nishi Ramen, I was like, imagine if he just comes in one day and he's like, there's a ramen bowl named after me. Like, I need to try that.
Yeah, that's dope, man.
So I was like, that was the idea.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was,
he has come in town. Oh, he did come in town. Did you ever meet him? No. Okay, because there was random person I met that had met him before. So ¿quién o qué te inspira?
Mi jefe, my dad. He's probably like one of my biggest inspirations. Growing up in Juarez, chef de maquila, which a maquila is like a factory, and they cook for like fucking 200, 300 people like
a day,
3 times a day and shit.
Oh, 3 times a day.
Yeah, so kind of crazy shit like that.
Shit,
and, you know, it's like trying to keep like he's a very like humble person, and no se andan con mamás. Like he's not like, you know, he's not trying to like fuck anyone over. So like everything he makes it's gonna be good and flavorful and stuff. So it's like. It's a lot of pressure and a lot of respect, like doing something like that, like doing something right for that many people.
Sure,
like,
yeah, he cooks from the heart. He's like, if he's gonna serve himself or serve somebody he loves, yeah, for sure.
So from there on, like that kind of stemmed, you know, like that was a seed.
Did you see him working, or did you know how he worked? Or
yeah, I would go every now and then, pero siempre era así como de que estaba ahí, pues, I was a kid, you know, so I was like, pues, ¿qué voy a hacer? No, pues me voy para allá a jugar con la pelota, or, you know, some.
He would tell you to leave, like he would just,
but I would still see it, you know, and like, I think like all that like sticks, you know.
Yeah, and it made an impression on you.
Yeah,
for sure. I see that. So like your dad being your biggest inspiration, was he always in your life? Is he still in your life?
Yeah.
That's major. That's major. Because I think most people look up to their dads and they always want to emulate their dads, or at least they make them proud and stuff like that. And then when they lose contact, sometimes like that causes a rock in the boat. What can you say for sure, like throughout the times, like you say he's inspired you, that you said, man, I think he might be proud of me. I think of this, you know what I mean? Because it's hard, you know. You're a humble man, I'm a humble man, but I think at one point, you know, I made my dad proud, you know what I mean? And I think that's, you know, big time for us.
I think
as a man.
Yeah. So the first time, the first restaurant that I opened, I was 26 at the time, and it was I think like I have a picture of him and my nephew like outside the restaurant, and you could just tell he was really happy, and that's when I was like, okay, you know, like. Yeah, I made him proud. Yeah, and I'm sure he's told me. You know, I'm not just sure. Like, he's told me that you know, I'm proud of, like, you know, he's not a guy that's gonna like mince words, or, you know, he's gonna keep his feelings to himself. He's very kind. You know, if anything, he wasn't a dad that like spank you or anything like that.
May I ask, is this from the Mexican culture? Is that your heritage?
Yeah, Mexican.
Yeah, okay. Because like I'm from the same type of culture, bringing up, and it's a lot of machismo, a lot of kind of like more tough.
Yeah, and it was, you know, it's kind of like that. But again, you know, he was always very loving, which is why I think, you know, like my mom was so in love with him, you know, too. He's very passionate and loving. So my mom was kind of like the one that was like really hard on me, you know. So it was, to me, like it was kind of like the other way around, what's like not normally, you know, in a Mexican family. I
don't know if that was the last chef but that talked about it. Yeah, but that dynamic works, you know what I mean? It's happened and it reverses. But yeah, sometimes they get a balance from a different direction, for sure. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. That's cool. And then did they both cook, or did they?
Oh yeah, no, yeah? My mom cooked at home. Like growing up in Juarez, todos los días, you know, frijoles, tortillas, and guisado, you know. So she was always trying to cook at home, and it was we hardly ever ate out. We didn't really start eating out until we moved over here, when, you know, like they had to work 2 jobs.
Make it faster. Yeah, and, you know, yeah, exactly.
Like, but yeah, no, and Juarez, like that's kind of like it sucks to say now, but it was like back then I was bored of, like, you know, like all the great food that she would make.
Yeah, sure.
It was like, most of the
chile colorado, chile verde every day, and you're like, oh, come on.
Yeah, like,
but it was the most like sazon, the most flavor, right?
And now that my mom's not around, this is the thing that I miss the most, you know. Obviously,
dude, yeah, absolutely. Even the fresh tortillas, like, just not the same, right? Yeah, absolutely. Well, rest in peace, man. I mean, what's the next as you were growing up? So I think you said you were 19 when you got introduced to like food.
Yeah, that's I was 18. I was a senior in high school when I joined culinary class. And
okay.
That's when I kind of, like, you know, like when I saw it firsthand.
Yeah, because I'm trying to like see, because like I see you were inspired by your dad so much that I wanted to, like, when you kind of transitioned, like, I'm gonna like cook. I'm gonna actually like use the tools and do it myself too.
Yeah, that was senior year in high school. Yeah, cool. For sure. Because I joined this class because I heard so much things about this guy that was a teacher.
Yeah.
And oddly enough, this guy is Zeno, the owner of Zeno's Greek restaurant.
Oh, word.
So he was a teacher in high school back then in Socorro.
Okay.
So this guy, man, you could write like probably like 5 books about his, like, you know, story.
Really? Like, he's been there, done that?
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
in the culinary world, or just in life in general?
Both.
Yeah. Bet, man. That's fucking cool.
Yeah. So he's
you never know. I love that restaurant, man, but you'd never know. Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's a cool dude. You know, you see him and it's like this like classic like Greek, you know, guy, and he's got like a rich history and super cool guy. And
yeah, shout out Zeno's. I think they're on East Side and West Side, right?
Oh, yeah.
Location. Yeah,
sure. Zeno's is great. Yeah. And so yeah, when I got into that class, it was like right away it was like fucking second nature. Like, you know, like getting in there, and more importantly, like I was in football. I was in the football team.
For high school.
I made it to like the All City and All Star game and all that.
Damn, badass, dude.
But I didn't have the size or the speed to like get any like college.
But for your school, you were pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Just when you cut city state or whatever.
So I was like, I can't do this for a living. So what am I gonna do? And that's when I found cooking, and it was like. It was very similar, man. I don't know if you ever play football or not, but like,
yeah. I mean, not professionally or like starting, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I played.
But like, it's similar, like, to where like you have a coach and you have your head chef, you know, you have your players, you have your line cooks, you know, and everybody's got to do the right thing. You know, you can't miss a block. You know, you can't miss like
that's a great correlation, man.
In the dish, and you know,
everybody's important. Yeah, exactly. Every position is important. Yeah,
for sure.
Damn, hell yeah, dude. That's great correlation, great analogy, man. I never heard that before, but yeah, it's absolutely true, man. And then there's one like star player sometimes, that one star, either a saute or there's somebody that actually exposes the line and really gets everybody in line. So yeah, you're right, absolutely, man. I see that. The coach would be like the exec or the, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I would say the exec, you know, the one that makes the calls, but maybe it's not like super involved, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Great analogy, man. So as you we talked about that you're motivated by your dad, and then you get into the culinary world. Were you like, I'm gonna be a chef, or were you like, I want to open a restaurant? What was your like kind of like motivation? Let me ask you. What was your motivation? ¿Qué te motiva en la cocina? ¿Y qué te motiva en la vida?
I just want to be number one.
Oh, damn. Like, in whatever you do.
In whatever I do. So when like it came time to cooking, I was like, voy a ser el mejor chef del mundo, you know?
Yeah, vámonos, todos los días.
Those are the kinds of ambitions that I have. And to me, it's always like that, you know, dream big and then dream bigger, you know?
From day one, though, like, as you were learning from Chef Zeno, yeah?
Yeah, like as soon as I stepped into that class, I'm like, I'm gonna be the best fucking student in this class, and then I'm gonna be the best fucking chef. And
that gives me a little bit of chills, because like I wonder sometimes like where the passion comes from, like, you know what I mean, like where it spurs from, where like the genesis of it. For me personally, like I went to that trattoria, like I told you, I was 16 years old. I worked in the trattoria, and it was just for weekend money, bro. My mom didn't give me money. Like she gave me $20, and that was for lunches in school and to party in the weekend. You know what I mean? So I was like, I'm gonna get a job, and as soon as one of my friends lost their job, I was like, I'm gonna work for him. I got into the trattoria. And I'm like making pizzas and like watching the chef like bang it out, man. He's fucking shit's flying everywhere, but dishes are beautiful, and he's fucking yelling at me and shit. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And then, dude, I swear it was just like eye-opening for me. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I have family that's worked as hard as he did, but the thing is like at that point, like I was just like taking his notes in the back of my head, because once I went to culinary school, that's because like my family saw me, and then they were like, you should go to culinary school, and I did, and then boom, I saw the culinary skills, and I was like, all right, I mean, it's pretty easy. Like, let me see. And it wasn't until like probably like third kitchen, I was like, fuck this, I'm gonna be a chef, dude. Like I can, you know what I mean? I just wanted to make a living. I just wanted to I didn't know what I was capable of. So I think it just came from that man, Chef Cliff, and then later I kind of like was like, duh, like that's where I'm gonna make it in life. You know what I mean? That's crazy, man. So your dad's inspired you. You're moving through life. You got what's like the first kitchen you worked in?
Zeno's.
Oh, Zeno's. Yeah. So he hired you right out of school. Like, were you like 18, 19? Is that was that?
Yeah, 19.
Mm-hmm. Did you like it?
Yeah.
It was Greek food, right?
It was Mediterranean Greek, and I mean, you talk about the Mediterranean, it's like talking about Asia.
Sure. Yeah.
You know, it's like it's huge.
True.
You know.
Yeah. Middle Eastern.
Middle Eastern. Yeah. So it was a mix of all that, and what was cool is that he was making a lot of chef from scratch. Right now he still does like a lot of things, but he's not in the kitchen as much, you know. So you gotta do some. You gotta compromise, you know.
Sure.
But back then, like we were making our own raviolis, you know. We were making like our own called moussaka, which is like the lasagna with the eggplant. I learned a lot of basics that I think I would have learned at school. I did go to culinary school here, EPCC, but I didn't finish. I didn't graduate because I started working there, and I was like, I don't want to do both. Like,
it's a smart choice, man. Honestly, like the more practical you learn, the more I think the better it sticks. The more you learn. But culinary school is definitely some. If you don't have a direction, you know what I mean. Go check it out for sure. Yeah.
No, and I tell everybody, like, just go. Like, if you can go, and if there's somebody, like, if you can get financial aid or something, do it. Get it under your belt.
Yeah.
And if you could, you know, like if you could do the whole program like for free, you know, without getting into debt, like do it, because if you have that paper, you can always ask for like an extra 25 cents, 50 cents on your pay, whatever. So you have that.
Sure. No, that makes absolute sense. Seriously, that's somebody that went to culinary school and is still in debt from student loans. Like that's very good, fucking good advice. But as you were in the so you're working. And then you're still going to culinary school at the same time, right? But then you chose to leave culinary school. How much confidence did you have in yourself as a chef or as a cook that you would make it? Like ¿en qué momento sentiste que la cocina era tu futuro?
I guess when I started Zeno's, it was like that's when.
As soon as you started?
Yeah. Like what?
That's cool, man. That's really cool, man. Honestly,
like just seeing like the day to day, you know.
Yeah.
It was like this is what I want, you know. This is where I thrive.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was like immense pressure. Obviously, like the first few weeks is always the busiest for a restaurant, but then that never slowed down there, you know, for some reason. And it was Zeno's West, and so yeah, it was like the constant pressure, the hustle, all that was like this is exactly
this is your element. Yeah, that's
like,
cool, man.
Like coming from the football background, and then you're talking about like who sparked you, like your
the passion sparked the passion for me.
My mom was that for me. Like ever since I was little, it was always like just going to school, like elementary school or whatever. It was always like, why aren't you the top of your class? And I was like, well, I don't know. It's like, then you're wasting your time, you know. Might as well get you out of school and like just fucking come and like clean the house. And I was like, it's always like be the best or you're wasting your time. Like
how would she tell you in Spanish? I think that would makes more sense. But the thing is, like moms have a way of just saying things and then it sticks because you want to be the best. After that point, you just want to be the best and everything. So you translated your football the way you were doing so good, but you kind of saw your ceiling and you just translated that right over to the kitchen and you're ready to go full force, like head into the wall.
Yeah,
that's fucking
So I mean, my mom it was just always like, pues entonces ¿qué estás haciendo? Si no vas a ser el mejor, entonces ¿qué estás haciendo? ¿Para qué vas? No vayas. Está bien, no lo tienes que hacer si no vas a ser el mejor. And I was like, no. I'll prove you wrong. I'll be the best, you know?
Yeah.
And that somehow like sticked, you know?
Absolutely. So, yeah.
Ever since.
I can hear my grandfather, like even when I was after college and I was like, I was working at Chili's and I had a night job at a Italian restaurant, Dominic's.
Yeah.
And I was working like a crazy man, but I was sleeping too, like a lot. And my grandfather, you sleep in the night and you live in the day. Get up and go. You know what I mean? And he was being like, you know, like angry, but he had a point, man. Like he just. No one cares. Work harder. You know what I mean? Like, get it done. You know what I mean? Like, I need help in the yard. You know what I mean? Like, come with me to lunch. Stop being a lazy ass. You know what I mean? And all that stuff. And it rang later, but I think they have the best intentions for us. And somehow, like, the way when you were saying what she said, I think it rings in your head. Her voice, and my grandfather's voice rings in my head all the time. That's why I'm like, damn, I could never ever in my wildest dreams work as hard as my grandfather worked. So I'm always like trying to. That's my you know. My go-to. I'm always like, I gotta work harder anyway. Yeah. So I already asked you if you're from El Paso, but did you always, like, as a chef, like once you got more and more confidence, did you say, I'm definitely gonna stay in El Paso, or did you have an inclination to go somewhere else?
Very much how you say, like I hit my ceiling in football.
Yeah.
Like I felt like I hit my ceiling at working at Zeno's, you know.
Okay.
And because it was that, like, it was a constant pressure, constant, hustle, constant struggle and all that. Within I think it was like within 8 months, I was already the sous chef, and then like another 5 months, I was already the head chef. And so it was like, and this was my first job, you know.
Yeah.
So like it was like I did that for like I was like the head chef for like 4 or 5 years.
Were you creating recipes too at that point?
Sometimes like it was very much like just executing.
Sure. Yeah. But you had everything down. Everything was, and so, the expo, everything was could run it.
Yeah, but it wasn't like a full on like creativity.
Sure.
Like
so what was your itch? What itch did you have at that point?
I just wanted to like grow, keep on growing.
Yeah.
Like you
learn more.
You work at a spot like this, and it's like your creativity like hits a cap.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. So
and then what they can offer and what you can offer, it's a cap for sure.
Oh yeah. So and it was it to me it felt like the longer I stay here, like the better it's gonna look on my resume. So I was like, and I started getting comfortable. Once you start getting comfortable, that's when you gotta like up and leave. So I got comfortable and I was like, okay, well, what am I gonna do next? So me and my dad were watching Netflix. We were watching Chef's Table.
Yeah, I've seen that one for sure.
And we were watching the episode in Chicago on Grand Rapids in Alinea. And then my dad was like, my dad doesn't cook anymore. Like he stopped cooking once we moved to the States. But he was like, siempre quería estar en un restaurante así con chef coats blancos y un chingo de chefs y todo el pedo.
He wanted you to be something like big. He saw you wearing the chef coat, like.
Yeah, no. Well, he said he wanted himself.
Oh, he wanted himself.
Yeah,
oh,
he
okay.
was like, that's a dream that I've always had. And I was like, fuck. I was like, yeah, me too. Like, that's fucking badass. I was like, there's nothing like that here in town. And I was like, man, imagine working over there. He's like, you should try it. And I was like, fucking right. Like, what am I going to do? Send them a fucking email that I'm from, like, nowhere, Texas. And then, like, he's like, just fucking send them an email. And I was like, all right. And then, so, yeah, I looked it up.
The Master Chef or whatever?
No. Alinea.
Oh, Alinea, the restaurant.
Alinea,
okay.
Yeah. And it's a group of restaurants in Chicago, Alinea being the main one.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, I emailed them. And then within the next day, they called me and they were like, "Hey, can you do an over-the-phone interview?" And I was like, "What the fuck?" I was like, "Yeah."
God damn.
So then I was like, "They're like, okay, cool. Like we saw what you've been doing, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
When can you come down for a stage?" And obviously, like whoever doesn't know what a stage is just basically like a tryout. That's like anywhere from like a day to a week or.
It could be like a day when they actually just give you some food to make a recipe, right? Or it could be like a week of seeing you how you actually work at station or something like that.
Yeah,
for sure.
and it works both ways, like whether you like it or whether they like you, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And
how you fit in, the chemistry and all that, yeah, for sure.
So like 2 weeks later, I'm in Chicago doing the stage.
Shit,
and
man.
It was like those were like the most life-changing days of my life. Like those 2 days that I was there for the stage.
Yeah. How'd you get there?
Airplane.
But like, I mean, did they provide it or you just?
No, you have to put everything. They pay you for the stage.
Sure.
Yeah, you gotta fly
crazy,
yourself.
man. That's crazy opportunity, man. I haven't had something like that. That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
And I was at Next, so it's Alinea, Next, Royster, Aviary. They have like 2 more concepts, but yeah, I was at Next, and I was under Jenner Tomasca and Ed Tinoco, which is like it was like executive and the sous chef. And then obviously Grant Achatz is the guy that you kind of never see. You know, he just comes in every now and then and is like this god figure, you know.
Yeah, right. Of that circle, right? Of those 4 restaurants?
Yeah. I mean, of Chicago, really. You know,
oh, really?
Anybody that knows, you know, like what Chicago is all about, everybody has respect for Grant Achatz, you know.
Okay.
This guy's been at the top for a while.
Nice.
So yeah, I'm in this doing this stage, and it's like I thought, you know, like whatever I was doing was like I was already feeling like, you know, like there's nobody fucking in El Paso that can top me, you know, like I was like, you know, like in this kind of like
confidence
cocky,
up to the roof, yeah, for sure.
And then I go over there, do the stage, and it's like like all the way to the fucking bottom, and I was like, dude, you're nobody. Like, what the fuck?
What was it though that you couldn't perform? Like you were just scared, like anxiety, or was it like my recipes are just not even high grade enough? Or
I mean, it wasn't even about my recipes. It was just about like the level of performance that they were doing over there. You know?
Really?
Like everybody working like in perfect, you know, symmetry and, you know, like harmony, and it's like doing things 100 miles an hour but very precisely. It was just like, it was like a movie, you know. I was like, what the fuck? And it was you're just kind of like starstruck and like,
where do I fit in? Like, where do I jump in?
Like, hey, it's like, hey, fucking, let's go, bro. Like, fucking, you're supposed to know how to do this, you know. It's like, it's like, all right, give me fucking 4 quarts of Brunoise carrots, 4 quarts of Brunoise onions, and like, and it's like they look at it and they're like, okay, cool. We'll just now do this, and then they throw that shit in the trash, you know. And it's like, so it's just like, you know, like it's very like challenging.
Oh yeah, big time. That's that point in probably a chef's career where it's a make or break. It's like oh shit, this is what it is being a chef. My bad, you know what I mean? Or it could be like, fuck yeah, let me get into this. Let me tighten my apron up. Let me make sure I'm gonna wear my shoes that are gonna get dirty as fuck because I'm gonna make sure and fucking do everything I need to get done. For sure, man. What age do you say that was at that point?
I was like 24, 25.
24, 25. And did you move over there to Chicago?
Yeah. For like, I
first time being alone without your parents.
Yeah. So yeah, the stash went well. Like they really liked how I worked and everything. They're like, how soon can you move here? And I was like, give me a month. So like it took me a month to move.
Kind of transition.
Yeah, and yeah, that whole period was pretty tough too. Like, you know, like I moved over there without having a spot to move into. So like I ended up like living in the U-Haul that I took for like 3-4 days because I couldn't find a spot, you know. I was like wasting my money in hotels and shit. And I was like, fuck, man, I don't know how I'm gonna do it.
Park your
U-Haul. And I remember like I called my mom. And I was like, yo, like, I'm going back, you know? Like, I was like, I can't. I was like, I have enough money to go back right now. I was like, if I keep on going, like, she's like, what? She's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, well, I can't. She's like, what is it? The money? And I was like, well, yeah, mainly the money. Like, I can't. She's like, okay, well, you have a fucking job. Like, you're going to make money. Like, just fucking tough it out.
Yeah.
He's like, it's fine if you want to come back home and, like, you know, like say that you fell, but you can do it. You can stay.
Yeah.
I was like, just money's going to come. Just fucking be patient.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck. All right.
That's good advice, man. I love that, man. That's fucking in the crutch of your life. That's great advice, man. Because I don't know, man. Like you could have just kind of like give up a little bit. You know what I mean?
I could have.
Yeah. It's tough. That's a high heat right there, man.
Yeah, and I mean, my mom obviously like she's the sweetheart too. She was a sweetheart too, and it was like hearing that from her. I was like, what? I thought you'd be like, yeah, come back home. Yeah. You know, I got you. And it's like, no, like fucking stay. Like you're gonna get paid. Like fucking stick it out.
Keep going.
And she knew something that I didn't. You know, so it was cool. And I mean, once working there, like I said, you know, I did that for a while. I had to come back for some very like personal family reasons, but I did it for like 6 months, and it was like the best 6 months of my life as a person, as a chef, to like grow and see something that's very cool about that spot. It's I mean, a lot of people think it's not that cool, but it's like you have to do everything very precisely.
Oh, in the kitchen. Okay.
Yeah, but everything like they have like at the end of the night, like you clean everything like from zero, right? They have these fucking trash cans like in every station. It's probably like 10 trash cans, but they're all like stainless steel. You have to take them out, take out the trash, clean them out, like scrub them down without making a single noise. So it's this fucking stainless steel, and it's like you make a noise, you go home.
Because it's during service, like people are on the dinner floor.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's like, so that was one of the main things. You can't like, it's like you gotta be precise in what you do. You know, like you gotta have a sort of finesse. It's like finesse. And if you're making noise, like you're not being careful, you're not being, you know, finesse. You're not having finesse. Like you're not.
It's all about the customer's experience out there. Yeah.
So it's like, okay, like it teaches you like precision and stuff like that. So
yeah, dude, those minor details. There's so many minor details. You think that you're doing there's minor detail. There's minor details in the kitchen, especially like sanitation and cleanliness. There's so much work to be done. Yeah.
No, sure, and like even something simple as like slamming the door on the fridge and the low boy. You know, like you're in the line and it's like, it's like, what the fuck? I was like, dude, no, like you don't have to do that. Like it's like. Fucking put it back, like just put it back, like it's. Everybody's just like, fucking like I'm gonna cook and shit, and then boom, slam the fucking door here, slam the fucking drawer here, and it's like, throw the knife, and it's like, no, dude, like you don't have to be like that, you know.
Yeah, 80% of the jobs here in El Paso are like the bar jobs, you know what I mean? And then when you get into a restaurant, you carry those habits into the restaurant, and then like as a restaurateur or somebody who's running those line cooks, you kind of like have to pick and choose your battles on what things happen. That's why things get lax in a city like El Paso versus Chicago, when they have umpteen fine dining 5-star Michelin restaurants, and you have to compete with that type of restaurant. So hopefully thanks to a chef like you, the bar's being raised so that more and more restaurants get to that point where they're not making noise in the kitchen, and they actually have a little bit more couth, like respect for the customer experience. You know what I mean? Because the aesthetic is getting higher as far as what we're able to offer as far as chefs. I know that personally from being personal chef, but also from the restaurants I've worked at. So we're able to offer more because their palates are opening up. But I would say about 10 years ago, like when that place 1942 opened up, people weren't ready for the chef experience. Do you think so? Would that be your experience as well?
I agree 100%.
Yeah. Where were you at that point in your culinary career?
10 years ago, I was 22. I was at Zeno's.
Oh, you were there. So yeah, to me you seem like my age. I'm 42, so I got like 10 more years on you. So as you're moving through, you went to Chicago. You come back with more of like a angst. You're not only confidence, but you got like actual real confidence. You know what I mean? You've seen what it takes to be an actual chef. So what was your direction? What did you want to do?
I opened the restaurant. I opened my first restaurant. That's when I opened Nishi Ramen.
Did you? Let me ask you, like, because like I'm sure people out there have enough confidence and enough like bullets in their pistol to actually open up a restaurant. But did you need a partner, or did you ask for help, or how'd you go about doing that?
Yeah, so I was partnering up with this guy. His name's Joe Jimenez, and I had met him through the whole ramen delivery system I was doing.
Okay. Everything happens for a reason, dude.
Yeah. And so he had a bar at the time called Trade Craft. It was on Mesa, and it was very fancy, like where it actually like the whole cocktail shit started. The fancy cocktails, craft cocktails.
Oh yeah.
And it was very cool. And he has like some of the best bartenders and all that stuff. He didn't have a kitchen, but he thought, he was like, it'd be a good idea if you could do pop-ups here. Like instead of doing it house to house, just come fucking do a pop-up. So we were like and I don't say like to toot my own horn or anything, but we were like the pioneers on the pop-up system.
Sure.
So it was like boom, pop-up, like pop-up at Tradecraft, and I was like, what the fuck is a pop-up? It was like, no, it's like
You just pull up
this business is gonna pull up here, and it's gonna be a feature of them and them. You know, like it's a collaboration.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a pop up of Enrique Lozano's ramen, and then it's like boom. From there, it started. So I was doing once a month. You know, we did ramen, we did dim sum, we did some other shit, and then I went to Chicago. And when I came back, I was like, I don't want to do the fucking pop ups, dude. I was like, let's open a restaurant. So he was like, all right.
But did you know the business aspect of it too at that point?
No, fuck no.
That's what I'm saying. You had that's what I'm saying. Like you have the balls to do it, but then you like, and I'm gonna bring my flavor, my artistry to the fucking people and shit like that. Yeah. Is that what your first restaurant was?
Yeah, it was very much that. And you know, it was like, to me, it was like, well, Joe will take care of the business aspect of it, and he did for the most part. But yeah, it was like coming back, and I had all these ideas, all this fucking, you know, like just this want, you know, to. And I don't want to come back and work at any other restaurant, because I knew no restaurant without it, you know, without any disrespect, like I knew no restaurant was at that level.
Sure, yeah.
And because of what you mentioned, like, you know, palates and ready, you know, you got to do what sells.
Oh, so true, man. I had at that time of 2012, I didn't know about 1942. I was doing a food truck, and me and another chef, we had an idea. We're gonna do savory crepes, man. We're gonna do Caesar salad crepes and Philly cheesesteak crepes, and they're gonna make them fresh and shit like that. We were driving around selling nothing, bro. The next day, next week, we were selling menudo in no time, bro. I'm telling you, menudo, tacos, quesadillas, man. Fucking, we were even yelling hamburguesas and shit like that, man. We were really trying to hustle, man. So I understand, like, the plight that you had, you know what I mean, where you were like, fuck, okay, this is what I'm gonna bring, but you know, business is a whole different aspect, man. It's like marketing, networking, there's so many aspects of it. So I want to get into that, man. So like, what do you as far as like this is one that I practice. ¿Qué significa para usted el emprendimiento? Did I say that right?
Emprendimiento. Emprendimiento quiere decir que vas a ser un chingón en muchísimos aspectos. Desde marketing hasta relación con los comensales, with customers. To relationships
en la cocina.
I mean, depending on the
whatever the business is.
But yeah, like with your employees, with your purveyors, with like, it's like you got to know how to wear 100 hats, you know.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. Yeah.
So that's it's being an entrepreneur means like that you're adaptable more than anything. So,
but like you said though, you're able to do all aspects of everything. You know what I mean? You see all aspects. And if you're what about like if you don't, like, because like for instance, I wouldn't say I'm bad at financials, but like I just don't see the long term. I'm not a 10-year kind of guy, you know what I mean? So I know when I do hire somebody or a partner, I want them to be more financial savvy than I am. I'm more networking, marketing, and stuff like that, and even recipes or whatever the case may be. But business wise, what have you learned? What do you think that you could learn more of?
For sure, like the financial aspect of it.
Yeah.
It just like being an artist, being passionate about what you do, it kind of like gives you a ton of vision as far as like, you know, what it takes to run a business. Sometimes you want to buy the 20 cent extra ribeye, when the 20 cent, you know, when you can save 20 cents on a ribeye, like, it's like you want to go for the just higher grade just because it's higher grade, but no one's gonna be able to tell the difference, you know. But those 20 cents, like, you know, like accumulated over the years, you know, 1 year it's gonna be like, you know, $2,000 that you could have used those $2,000 to pay the taxes, you know, like of this month, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and I think and then you have to know when to pull that trigger too, because different clients want different things, right? I know somebody who specifically would say, I want Wagyu, right? And you obviously got to make a menu around Wagyu, but I think you'd do the same, challenge them to say, well, let me get a upper 2/3 choice, maybe get you a choice steak, but I promise you, the way I cook it and prepare it for you, you're not going to worry about what grade it is. Because I mean, like, I know how to put love into the crust, I know how to put love into the, you know, just enough salt, butter, you know what I mean, whatever the case may be. But I know what you mean, man. Yeah, and it took me a while, because I did want to just throw them, hey man, this is prime, you know what I mean, like, this is the best. But your cooking skills can also be just as level as what the quality of the items that you're gonna want to spend the dollars on. And I think that's cool, because like El Paso, that's what leveled out El Paso's palate, is because they weren't ready for the to spend $300 on a Wagyu plate. You know what I mean? And bring in oysters and things like that. But somehow we were able to like kind of balance that out for him, and then bring it to a level like we have El Camino now that offers the raw bar and stuff like that.
It's a great place.
Absolutely
Chef Santiago.
Santiago, yeah, he's doing big things, man. Especially with Casa Pantera. When I walk in there, man, it's always lively, good food, man. And that was right down the street from a previous restaurant you had, Dios Mio. Yeah, man. The wings, man. We talked about it before, but the wing recipe you got, man, that was on point. Thanks for sharing with me. Yeah. Absolutely. And then your cheese sticks. I'll talk about it again just because I love them, Doc. But it's asadero, and you bread them freshly, right?
Panko, yeah.
Yeah, that was one of the better recipes. Because like I do fresh cheese sticks and stuff like that. But squeeze a lime and then. Salsa verde, man. That fucking shit is good, dude. Wow. Really good combos, man. Really, and it's simple too. I try to tell people, they're like, "What, cheese sticks?" I'm like, "Just come with me, bro. Come with me."
It's easier to taste it.
Just taste it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. 100%, man. So let me ask you in Spanish here. ¿Cómo trasladas tus luchas y triunfos como chef a la vida cotidiana de hoy?
Ooh, that's tough. I guess.
So I'm asking how do you translate your struggles and triumphs as a chef to everyday life today?
I mentioned it before. Life is tough, and I think all the triumphs are just the assets to, like, or I say assets or assertions to like. It's all worth it.
Sure.
All these long days, all these fucking long hours, like the struggle, like fucking driving here, over there, going to Chicago, going over here, fucking just coming back from San Antonio, doing some consulting over there. Like it's all for something, right? And whether it be like you get a raise tomorrow, you open a restaurant tomorrow, you win Chop tomorrow, like you're on the Food Network, whatever. All those are little wins, To me, the biggest win that I've had up to date is probably being James Beard semifinalist. I think that's, to me, like that was a dream, like, for a long time.
So I want to set that up for you because you first took your experience after many years and you opened up Charlatan.
Yeah,
and with a lot of love because it started from the foot, when you looked from the floor to the ceiling, everything was like you had your signature on it, like, right?
And not just my signature, but my family.
Okay, your family. Okay, and if you want to talk about Charlatan, where does the name come from?
Charlatan. So charlatan is the same in English and Spanish. Charlatan. And it's basically like it's somebody that's like it's just kind of like this jokester guy that doesn't really take shit serious. Like sort of like a. It's just
kind of like a jokester or whatever.
Yeah, I don't want to take myself too seriously.
Fly by night kind of.
Yeah. And to me, it was like I kind of want to, even with Nishi Ramen, Nishi means west in Japanese. So it was like, it's going to be Western's version of ramen. It wasn't going to be Japanese ramen, like I'm putting it on the door. Like if you come in here, it's not going to be Japanese ramen.
Yeah.
If you go to Charlatan, it's not gonna be like don't come in with high expectations. We're fucking charlatans. We're having fun. We're cooking, but it's always gonna be flavor forward.
So you're having fun with food back there in the kitchen. Nice, dude. I like that a lot, dude.
And I mean, taking it serious, to the extent that we can. But at the same time, don't come in here thinking that you're gonna have the best ramen. Like, like maybe you're gonna have the best ramen, but it's not gonna be authentic to what you had in Japan or where the fuck. You're not gonna have the tacos that you had in fucking Oaxaca or Monterrey.
Yeah, so you're not trying to portray that. You're just letting them know straight up. And then, but your menu was kind of eclectic. It wasn't just come in and have this dish or this appetizer. It was almost coursed out, right? Or you had the option.
Yeah, we had the option of the tasting menu, which we were the first fucking tasting menu in Socorro.
When I saw it, when people were posting it, that was the coolest thing ever, man. Like they'd post the one by one each course and stuff like that, and I was like, wow.
Yeah, no, it was a lot of firsts for Socorro for sure, and what was so cool too, opening a restaurant downtown El Paso and then going to Socorro was like a huge difference. Like the community in Socorro is like a lot more like friendlier, and our governing body was always there, supporting us, going to eat, asking for caterings and stuff. So yeah.
And then the style of cooking that you did there too, like you have this way of barbecue. I say barbecuing, but is it? And there's a word for it. But what's the style of cooking?
When we did it outside,
the
Colgados.
Colgados. Did you do that at Charlatan?
Yeah, we did. We did do it for events. So
for events.
Yeah.
Okay. Not all the time.
No. It's a very like
tedious.
It's an intricate process where it's like it's not just turning on a grill, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we would do it like monthly events, and it's a whole idea that I got from restaurant group in Juarez called Cascabel, and it's over there Chef Leo, Chef Jorge Monstro, he's here in town. He's one of my best friends, and also like half mentor, half best friend. He's worked with me like at all my projects, and he's helped me out through a lot of things. He's kind of the one that introduced me to them, and then they introduced me to this process, and I was like why aren't you guys doing this bigger? You know, like let's fucking. I was like, okay, like you know, if, like I want to bring you guests in here, like because the first Colgados that we ever did, it was like featuring them. It was like
Colgados.
They Colgados, yeah. It was like Cascabel pop up at Charlatan, and from there I was like, all right, I'm gonna do this shit. Like I'm gonna fucking, you know, like with all due respect, like you know, like I'm not trying to like, you know, like copy you guys or whatever, but this needs to be out there. So
yeah. No, and that's the thing. Like, it's a different medium of art. You know what I mean? That's the thing. When I saw it too, I'm like, what the heck is this? You know, like, hang meat or what do you hang meats, you hang vegetables, you fish.
Everything, yeah.
I mean,
just everything outside.
So
like
yeah, just to give a little description, if you haven't seen Chef Lozano cook, it's type of barbecue, but it's called Colgados, and it's the flame on the bottom. You get a fire going on the bottom, and then he has like kind of a structure on top to where you can hang meats and hang vegetables at a different level of getting the heat, and then you're able to barbecue, getting a good singe, good crust on all the items. So really cool to see, to experience, and then taste, and then you know, talk about, you know what I mean? It's something different. So if we're building it up, Charlatan it's a little bit further from El Paso. It's in Socorro, but it was bringing such a eclectic flavor, such a high-end type of restaurant experience. And we talked about the Colgados, but you got a call from the Beard Foundation, and you got a nomination for everything you were doing at that point. Man, congratulations, because that's really cool. There was another gentleman, Chef Emmy, was doing the same thing. Emiliano downtown. And so when we heard about that, as you know, citizens in El Paso, we were just proud, man. They're just proud of our people doing like big things, you know what I'm saying? Like and putting us on the map, and like really like when I told people about the Beard Award, it's not just an award, you know what I mean? It's actually like you're doing the right things as a chef, you know what I mean? Like from front to back, you know, your items, your menu, your people, your training, and all that stuff. So really congratulations, man, because I understand how proud you could be getting an award like that, or a nomination award for an award like that. And you were still like kind of like coming up in the game. I mean, not coming up in the game. You're like you're still moving. You're still going. You know what I mean? Like you went from Charlatan, Ay Dios Mío, and you still have a lot of things on the horizon, right?
Yeah.
What's your future look like? What do you feel like doing? What do you want to do?
Right now we're doing events, and we're doing
pop-ups.
Yeah, pop-ups for sure, and
collaborations. I think is because like
the best word.
Yeah, it's because it's like chefs reaching out to chefs, almost like, hey, come to the restaurant and do this, or make a menu and stuff like that. Yeah. And it's like, damn, okay, boom. And it brings two communities together, as well as like introducing a community to a different flavor, or whatever the case may be. But
networking. Yeah,
networking, exactly. So as an entrepreneur, like, tell me about networking and marketing. Are they very important?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I don't think I would be where I'm at right now if it wasn't for like mainly Instagram.
Mainly Instagram.
Yeah. It's definitely a medium that you could use to your advantage if you know how to use it.
Yeah, it's free too. I mean, geez, start a page, put your business name on there, post every day, just show people what you got. You know what I mean? Like, I remember when I was first going out there, and I'm trying to tell people, hey, I want to go to your house and cook for you in your house with my own tools. Don't worry about it. I won't even open up a drawer. They're like, no, what are you talking about? So like once I got the pictures on IG, they were like, oh, like a chef in my house? That's pretty cool. Like, yeah, let me try it out. You know what I mean? Like you got to portray that. That's what IG will help you do, is market your idea. Whatever your idea is from your head, put it on IG. Like, even if it's with your mom, even if it's with your sister and there are babies or whatever, you just figure it out. Like, make a picture and then just show it on IG. the point is you're marketing your product. You're trying to get your name out there. People start hearing your name over and over again, and then they start seeing, well, what's going on over there? You know what I mean? Like, so, and then networking. Like, what's your idea? What's your idea of networking? What do you, just chef to chef, business to business, business to customer?
I think to me, networking is like all of the above, and it's basically like whenever you can, like have that courage to talk to somebody that's in the industry, you know, whether it be like a chef, a bartender, a server, an owner, you know, an investor, and you know, to just get. Nobody's ever gonna know everything, you know. So like, just get a little something from someone, you know. Like talk to them, get to know them. What do you do? How do you do it? Cool, you know. Like you go to a restaurant, like ask the server, like, you know, just those questions, like who owns this place, you know, stuff like that. And it's like, oh, cool, you know, like don't make it awkward, you know. But if they don't want to talk, they don't want to talk. But
that happens. Yeah, sometimes people are closed off, but if they're open book, why not just get some information? You know what I mean? Try to figure out like what they did. You know what I mean? Because we're all in the same game. We're all, you know, we're learning every day from all this stuff. I know when I first started the networking game was kind of hard, man. I'm a person that is a little bit more reserved and maybe what they call it, introvert. So I was more on the outside looking in, and then Marco Olivares, he was the first one that said, yeah, come down to Lola. And then as I was eating at Lola, like he would be like, yo, you want to come help us on the kitchen one day? I'm like, what? Yeah, like, what, are you kidding me? And you know, being in the atmosphere again, because like as a personal chef, you're out of the element. Like you're in other people's kitchens, you're not in the actual kitchen atmosphere. It's completely different. So once I got that again, I got that little bug. I got like little, you know, rejuvenation and shit like that. Started doing a lot of different things. When I worked with Chef Graham, you know, like started straining my sauces, but just, you know, just folding my towels right, you know what I mean, where I kind of got lax being by myself, you know what I mean. And I think I needed that. So networking has helped me be a better chef. Marketing has put my name out there and stuff like that. So let me ask you something. Besides the James Beard Award, how did you get to be on Food Network? Because that's a pretty big accommodation too, man. That's I don't know what the word is, but that's pretty badass, man. How did that happen? How did that come about?
They hit me up, and they hit me up on Instagram. Both shows? They
hit you up?
Yeah.
Is it from the Beard Award, or where do you think that was from?
It's gotta be. Yeah, it's gotta be from there. Because the first show that they hit me up was for the Bobby Flay show.
Right.
And it was they messaged me on Instagram, and it was like the whole thing where like it goes to your request, and it's like, what the fuck, who's this, you know? And it's like, hey, do you want to be on the Food Network show? And I'm like, fuck,
is that real?
Yeah, right. And like, you know, and fuck. I was like, yeah, sure, what's up? And it's like, you know, and then they're like, well, send us your email. And it's like this like whole professional shit, you know. Like, all right, well, we're gonna go from here. You gotta send this NDA, and you know, it's like all this, you know, like, oh shit, I was like, this is real. Like,
that's cool.
And then so they flew me out to that to New York for the Bobby Flay show, and
shit.
And there, the contestant that I went up against was from I don't remember from where, originally from Brownsville, Texas, and she was a James Beard nominee as well. So I was like, oh, okay, so you know, they hit us up. And then Emiliano went on he's been on the Bobby Flay show as well.
Oh, yes.
And so I was like, okay, cool. So then they probably go through the list and like, hey, whoever wants to come, whatever, you know. Yeah. So that's where so that was the first one, and then from Chopped, that was a little bit different. I don't know if they called me because I was on the Bobby Flay show or because of James Beard or what, but it was a very similar process. They hit me up from another show too that I can't say, but I didn't end up going to that one. But the Chopped, I was like over the roof because I was like, yeah, I've been watching this shit since I was little, you know.
Yeah, I want to ask you about the Bobby Flay real quick because I just have one question, and it's about the chili colorado, because like I think they asked you the same a question on the Bro Monroe show, but it's about having a certain like flavor sazon. Like when you make your chili colorado, you make it like mom made it. Yeah, that's how you make it. Because my grandma,
I mean, at the show, I didn't make it like mom made it. Because they emphasize like, okay, we want you to put your own twist to it.
Twist?
Yeah.
Okay. So not traditional, not
100%.
Okay, because I don't know what I would do. I'm trying to be in your shoes at that point, because I would make it like grandma told me to make it. That's what I would do. That's what I would do. I would do everything right, from 2 tablespoons of fucking flour to everything. You know what I mean? Every single little detail. So, and then I would just present that. You know what I mean? I'd be happy with that. Yeah. But you had you wanted to put a little something. What was that? Did you want to make it spicier, or
it wasn't even that I wanted to. It was like they kept on, like the production kept on telling me like okay, like this is how your mom made it. Like I was like, hey, now what would you put instead of this ingredient?
And what direction did you end up going?
I just started like Asian flavors that I'm used to, like fish sauce, rice vinegar, like stuff like that, where I'm like, okay, I could
perk it up here, there.
Like instead of using consomme, I use fish sauce, which is super similar,
Yeah, definitely. Man, that's cool, man. Because like in the element, like that's where I was like when they put that recipe. I was watching it and I was like, Chile Colorado, what the hell? Okay, so I was personally saying that I would just do that, so that would be my game plan. But you're saying, and in the background they were saying like, perk it up, do something different. All right, dope. So on Chopped, man, actually that's the one that, like you said, you got excited about, because like I would be excited too, man. It was they invited you onto the show, you're sitting in there with the chef coat they gave you, and then they give you a box in front of you.
Yeah, I mean it's a whole long process. Like it's like a 2-day. Like the first day you do the B-roll where like they film you cooking like just random shit, and you're like, oh, I'm Enrique Lozano. You tell your story and all this shit, and it's their kitchen. And
you just cook random shit.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay.
Well, you tell them like what they're like. What do you want to cook? What describes you? And I was like, well, fucking tacos, And then so it's like you cook that. And,
just to get your intro of you, okay.
And that's like a 2-hour thing, and then the next day it's when you start like at 6 a.m, and you like leave till like 8 p.m. 9 p.m. It's like a whole fucking 13
It's not like 45 minutes or whatever.
No, not at all.
Damn, dude. But like, tell me, like, so I mean, is it all a surprise? Like the box you open?
Oh yeah, that's 100% real. Like
because I didn't see the episode, but I mean I know how it works. I mean know how Chopped works. So what were your 3 ingredients? The first box.
The first box, it was this Asian bread. It was like it's very stale. Oh, I'm sorry, I don't remember the exact name, but it was the kind of like the curveball was sour grapes, which are like fresh grapes that are dipped like in like sugar, and like they're like sour.
Oh yeah. And
then fennel and
fresh fennel.
Yeah, fresh fennel and Argentinian sausage. So I ended up making choripan, which is like a Argentinian sandwich, which is like just chorizo and chimichurri and bread.
Nice.
But then I ended up using the fennel for the slaw and all the shit. And but once I saw like what the other guys were cooking, I was like, okay, like like.
Is that part of the game? Like, I mean, you're actually like getting in your shit. And you're like, okay, what's
yeah, for sure. Like,
that's
what,
cool,
what
right?
are you cooking? And I was like, okay, cool. So I was like, okay, yeah, like I think I got this. And
that's what's up.
But yeah, and then
was it fun? I mean, how did you feel?
It was very fun. Yeah, dude.
The whole time, like, I mean, were you like sweating? Were you? I mean,
oh fuck, yeah, I was sweating. I sweat a lot.
but I'm saying, like, was it like fucking like the anxiety kicked in? Like you're like, oh shit, or were you like, nah, pretty confident? Like I'm just gonna bust it out.
When I'm cooking, I'm in my zone.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah,
when we're sitting down, like when they're like rearranging cameras and all that shit, and that's when you're sitting down and you're like, fuck, your mind just goes 100.
Yeah.
But no, yeah. To me, it was fun, and dude, like I said, like I went out there, like just fucking ready to fucking kill it. Something that I haven't talked about like publicly, like it was the day the morning before I went to do like the actual show, the 16-hour long shit. I was taking a shower. Both shows are in New York,
right?
So I was in this hotel that, because the original hotel that I had gotten was, they messed up the reservations and shit. So I had to like struggle to find another hotel and shit. So I ended up in this. It was a nice hotel. It was new, but it was like just a super tiny room and shit.
Oh, okay.
So, but anyway, I was taking a shower and then I get a phone call, and because you know how like iPhones, like they give you like the name of whoever bought the line or whatever, even if you don't have them. And it said Maria Aguilar, which is my mom's name. But obviously, my mom's name is Maria Aguilar, but it said Mari, like the nickname, like what everybody calls her.
Yeah,
so I was like, oh, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I was like, what? And then it was like, I remember it was early in the morning. And I was like, I was like, wow, that's so fucking... And it wasn't her number, obviously, but it was just like... It was one of those things where it's like, yeah,
like a sign, like she's thinking of you.
She's out there somewhere, So I was like, fuck, that was wild, and I was like,
did you answer it or no?
Yeah, it ended up being some lady from real estate,
but still, like that, yeah. You needed that, like you didn't know what you needed in the moment, but like just that was like probably enough. Like, fuck, I got this, mom. You're right.
Yeah, no, for sure. That was that, and that's what it was, and I didn't believe, like. and
you probably had
like
maybe
that.
1% of doubt, maybe like that one little tiny percent of doubt, and then you saw that and you're like, gone.
No,
like,
but I'm saying I don't believe in like ghosts or shit like that.
Sure. Yeah, I'm not
like,
superstitious myself. No.
And so, but when that happened, I was like, what? Like, there's what are the fucking coincidence?
Nah. At that point, no. In that moment, no, not at all, man. That's fucking cool, man. Yeah. So you end up winning Chopped.
Yeah.
Fucking badass, man. Fucking badass, dude. How'd that feel, man? When they chose you at that point? Did you have a good rapport with the judges? I mean, they were liking your food. Everything was going good.
Yeah, I mean, there was like criticism here and there, obviously, with everything. But I still felt confident, and once it came to the last round, and the guy was
the host.
Ted Allen, he was like, Chef Enrique, you're the Chopped champion. I was like,
give it up for Chef Enrique Lozano. What the fuck, man? Representing El Paso, man. Thanks, man. That's fucking cool. I haven't watched that one episode. I did see the Bobby Flay one, but man, that's fucking cool, man. Because it's a dream, man. As a chef, any chef, anybody who cooks, if you're on a station, you're like, fuck yeah, I could be on Chopped. Because they ask you, man, if you're like, I'm a fry cook at fucking Chili's, they're gonna be like, could you be on Chopped? Fuck yeah, I could be on Chopped. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things, man. And like to get to that point, that's pretty cool, man. You're destined for greatness. Seriously, like there's more to come for you, Enrique. Seriously. A couple other questions I have for the Grind2Hard podcast. Yeah. Do you have any business plans for the future? Any big ideas?
Yeah. We're looking at opening up a restaurant in San Elizario. It's called Mija.
Mija.
Yeah. So like hija, but like a little bit more non-formal Mija. Mm-hmm. And it's gonna be like this project where
I feel like real quick. I feel like the mija is like a cariño. Is it more? So it's more like an endearing way of like talking to your like daughter or your niece or somebody. You know, mija. Like you know what I mean? So, So that's it's already bringing in the community. That's good, man. Yeah. So your idea of it is, I'm sorry, go on.
So it's gonna be very community driven. Where we wanna have like a sort of program in the mornings where. We can feed the people in San Elizario, where it's going to be very inexpensive or free, you know.
You call it like a soup kitchen type?
Yeah, kind of like a soup kitchen in the mornings, and then transition it to something a little bit more refined in the nights, where we're going to be something like El Charlatan, but better, you know, like just, you know, more, you know.
I don't think you mean better. I think you mean more better in every aspect, like quality-wise, or, I mean, I think you're talking about like having like farm-to-table type.
Yeah, I mean, El Charlatan was very much farm to table. We had a Bodega Loya right down the street, right, so we were But I think like names like that are kind of cliche. So what I mean better is just better because it's the next project. You know?
Okay.
Like it's always you know like
always gonna get better for sure. Yeah, more refined. Yeah. You learn from every endeavor for sure. 100%. Do you have any advice for new business owners or new chefs that are coming up? Like maybe there's some chef that has the the fire in their gut. They just got back from New York, just got back from San Francisco, and they're in El Paso. You know what I mean? In that moment, do you have any advice to just give them?
We'll go one by one, but like chef, for chefs, I think if you're gonna go into it, make sure you have somebody that you trust as a partner, and not just like, oh yeah, I trust this guy. Like like we went to drink one day and it's like he's cool.
Yeah, he knew what he was talking about, man. He really did.
It's like you like really like get to know your partner,
business partners,
your business partner, because you're going into a marriage. You know,
just like you would get to know your marriage partner, your spouse. Yeah, get to know your business partner the same way. You know what I mean? Asking about credit is not too far. Asking about their past businesses and what happened, like it's not going too far. You need to get to know each other and be on the same page, man. It really it's big time. Even if they're hiring you to be their chef or to just consult, you figure out who these people are that you're going into business with, and if they're in line with your own ways of thinking, your own business practices, and all those kinds of things. I mean, even the way you use money, things like that. Check them out, see what's going on. But that's great advice, honestly. Yeah. And then
and value yourself. Like you give yourself enough value. You don't want to slave away, especially if you're gonna be going to a partnership. Like don't be the slave of the partnership. But make sure it's on the paper. Where it's like. If we're going to go 50-50, then we're going to go 50-50 with work too, Yeah,
I think that's good advice as well. I'm taking that with me as something that I've learned too as a business person. put it in writing. Let's do it 50-50. You do the networking, I'll do the marketing. You do the cooking, or I'll do this. You know what I mean? And put it in writing. Let's sign it. And even if it's informal on a napkin, at least you both know it's on paper. You chose this, I chose this. Let's move forward. And then there's no argument. You know, at the end of the day, there's just like, oh, I don't think he's coming through with what he said. And it's, you know, kind of written in writing. So that's great advice as well, man. Did you want to say something else about that too? You said I'm gonna go down the line.
Oh yeah, no. Well, I mean, for business owners that, you know, or investors and that. I would say it's the same thing, just flipped, you know, like make sure the chefs that you're getting into, like, the, you know, they're trustworthy and stuff, and more importantly too, like, failure as a business honestly doesn't mean much, you know. And what I mean by that is, obviously you learn a lot. You learn tons from, like, failure, you know. But some of the best chefs, they've closed down like 10, 20, 50 restaurants.
Yeah.
You know?
Even Chef Gordon Ramsay's closed down a couple of restaurants. Don't think he's perfect. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, no. So it's like, I mean, but then, like, read between the lines, you know, kind of deal. Like let's see, like, this guy likes to party too much, you know, like, or what's, you know, like, because
my firm, the handles manager, was too friendly with everybody. You know what I mean? Things didn't really roll the way I wanted it to roll.
Yeah, like, nobody's perfect, but, you know, like make sure you if you're gonna like if you're gonna choose a chef or whatever, you know, go out to eat a couple times, you know, go out to drink a couple times, you know, and just make sure that, okay, now that this guy is somebody that once it gets down and dirty, he's like, I can trust him.
Yeah, he's gonna get dirty with me. Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah. And you talked about don't be the slave in the partnership. When you kind of feel that way, I think you already know you need to say something. Yeah, because it should be 50-50. You should be both banging your head in the wall, like, at the end of the day, like, you know what I mean, helping each other, like, stand up and stuff like that. You know what I mean, putting everything you got into that. This is one of the questions that we ask at Grind2Hard podcast, and it's totally your definition, not anybody else's or from a book, but define the line between confidence and cockiness. I think cockiness is thinking you know how to do it, and confidence is knowing you know how to do it. It's, to me, it's very important to portray myself as somebody that's confident, where as somebody that's not confident, it might come off as cockiness, you know. True. Yeah, I think Deion Sanders said something like that.
And you hit it in the head earlier too, where it's like, sure, in pictures you're gonna be like, you know, maybe you're gonna have this song that's very like on an Instagram post that's very
brash or
like cocky or whatever, or like a picture is gonna be like, or it's gonna say like no one can top me or whatever.
Sure, represent.
But that's Instagram, you know, that's social media. That's not always real. That's not always the real picture. But when, you know, when it's like, when we're in a room and it's like, you know, like, it's like, hey, you know, like, you show respect for everybody, and lead by example, you know, more than anything. I think the best leaders are the most confident ones. So
that's the main thing. Yeah, the best leaders are the most confident ones. That's one of those things that you just got to carry with you. Just because it's a lot of pressure as a leader, but stay confident that you're doing the right things, you know. Follow your intuition, and be confident in the decisions that you make, even if you're talking about like failing, you know what I mean, like, take responsibility for the failure and move on. I think people look up to you when you take on that failure, take responsibility, and help everybody move on from things like that. So thank you for defining that line, man. The last question we have is how do you pay it forward? So as a chef, business owner, El Pasoan, things that you've done with the Beard Award, your acclimates with Food Network and things like that, and even your future, which is very bright. How do you pay it forward, Chef?
I guess the main thing that's ever since I started cooking, and it was like, to me, it's always about like bringing up the people around you, bringing up your team, and the older I get, the more I realize that my team is not just the circle around me, but the region where I live. That we're all here, you know, we're all representative of the city, of the cities, you know, Paso, Juarez, Las Cruces, San Eli, Socorro.
Yeah.
So what can we do to, like, you know, bring everybody up, you know, like, my door's always open, and I'll say to anyone that's out there, I'm a phone call away, I'm a text message away, I'm a message on Instagram, Facebook, you know, and hit me up if you have any questions on anything, if you need to talk to someone, if, you know, need any help of some sort. Luckily I have like a lot of resources as far as like connections in the city and stuff like that, so it always helps, you know, to like have somebody that you can text and be like, hey, you know what, dude, I can't find something that I need for this event, you know, plates or silverware or this wild intricate vegetable, or I need somebody to fund my business, or you know, something like that. Like we can find connections and stuff like that. Like yeah, I think that's one. But more importantly, like personally, 1-to-1, I always give opportunity to whoever asks for it. If you're willing to work, like I don't care if you've been a security guard for like the last 10 years. You want to get into a cooking game? Come on, like, you know, like if you want it, like I'll teach you. Yeah. And recently at Dos Mio, I had a guy, Raimundo Lopez. He works at it's like this factory where they do like equipment for hospitals. Okay. But he saw me on Bobby Flay, and he messaged me. He was like, dude, he's like, honestly, I never worked at a restaurant before, but I want to go work for you. Can I do that? Sheesh.
Oh man, that's fucking cool, man.
So I was like, dude, yeah. I was like, if you want it, like show up tomorrow. Show up tomorrow in the morning. I'll see you there at 11, and we'll get you working. Yeah. And I was like, okay, cool. And then he showed up, and now he's like a close friend of mine, you know. So it's like, so yeah, like opportunity is always there, and I'm more than willing to help anybody out that's out there, and we can all do it, you know. My goal for El Paso, for the region, is to see it grow as how you mentioned, you know, like from 10 years ago, we've grown a lot as a culinary city. Yeah, sure. And the next 10 years, I want it to grow even more, you know. And I'm not going to leave El Paso. I'm not like, if it's going to take my whole life for El Paso to be that city destination, then it's going to take my whole life, you know. And hopefully it can keep on going with like the people that we leave behind. Workers, you know, like setting the culture. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I need 100%. Speaking from the heart, I haven't worked side by side with him, but I've actually know personally two of his chefs that have worked with him, and they have nothing but praise to say for him. As I eat his food, you know that each detail is very handmade and made with love. So I just want to say thank you for everything that you do, because it comes from the heart. And I think if you want to emulate anything that he does, you have to stay humble. Stay humble in that stay humble and confident, because you know what you know, and then you just run with it, and you're able to like pass it on to other people. You're able to pass the baton and also teach other people, but in the humble aspect, not worrying about what other people say, and not worrying about what you portray on IG or nothing like that. Just doing and helping your community around you. And I think looking to the future to just help. I don't think this gentleman mentioned money at any time this whole interview. It's more about the city. It's more about the culture. It's more about the people, and loving your city that you live in. You know what I mean? Like, we're people of food. We make food. That's our art. So that's what we're gonna exploit, and that's what we're gonna do. I go to people's homes, and I raise the aesthetic there. This gentleman has restaurants, and he's gonna make more to raise the aesthetic for you to go to. So I implore you to look up Chef Enrique Lozano on IG. I'm sure he's on many other platforms. He'll be on this podcast. You can check him out. And like he said, you can reach out to him as far as learning to be a chef. If he's got many experiences in the chef world, you want to learn about restaurants, you want to just pick his brain. Obviously, I invited him on the podcast. He had no qualms whatsoever, and made sure that he showed up on time and stuff like that. So very respectful, very humble dude. Muy amable, chef. Thank you for coming on the show. Anything else you want to tell the audience? You got something going on that you want to let them know or just look out for? Just you hit it on the head. It's like Instagram, social media, Chef Enrique Lozano. Bet. I got you guys, and gracias, Chef Clay. Es un chingón, carnal. Yeah, you're a badass too, man. Sigue haciendo lo que haces, la neta. Esto no es fácil, y lo haces muy bien. So, thanks,
muchas gracias, señor. Eres muy chingón. Gracias, muy amable. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you can, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're looking to come up, y'all. I appreciate y'all. Chef, you're a badass. I hope to be at your next endeavor, next pop-up, or wherever you are. Just keep going, y'all. Stay motivated, stay positive. You need anything, we got 2 chefs that'll help you out with whatever you need. Business people, whatever you need, bro. We got you. Stay up. Stay up, y'all.